Okay, I think we are live. Guys, can you confirm if you can hear us or see us? Hi everyone, can you guys just confirm if you can see us or hear us in the chat box? Just like type yes so that we can start off with the session. Okay, perfect. So, hi everyone, welcome on board. Thank you so much for joining us today. So, a lot of you were requesting for a video on IPM IPMAT, those of you who are in your 10th 11th, 12th classes. So, today we finally have two of our students from IIM Ranchi who are pursuing the IPM program and they are in their first year. So, welcome Khushi, welcome Siddharth on board. And I'm so grateful to you both because you are here to resolve the queries that I personally cannot. And I'm so thankful to you for everyone who's watching this video. And so the way we are going to conduct this is, first I'll introduce Khushi and Siddharth to all of you. So Khushi has an All India rank in the IPMAT exam of 156 and Siddharth has a rank of 143. Both of them are first year students from IIM Ranchi, like I said. And Khushi comes from the commerce background. So anybody who's from commerce stream, direct your questions to Khushi. And anyone who's from the science stream, we have Siddharth here with us, right? So this session is going to be for about 30 minutes. You can drop in your questions in the chat box and we will be taking them up at the end of the session. If in case something is left, we will definitely pick it up in the subsequent sessions, and also we will reply to every single comment after this video. So we are just going to start off by asking Siddharth to please address what the IPM or the IPMAT program is, just in case someone is in their 11th and 12th and is not aware about it.
Okay, so we have got IPM program, which stands for Integrated Program in Management. So it is basically a dual degree program, which is 5 years long, and you can study management in the best institute of the country, that is 5 IIMs: Indore, Bodh Gaya, Jammu, and we have got Ranchi as well as Rohtak. So it is one of the best program if one wants to pursue, say, the field of management. And the best thing is we have also special emphasis on a holistic curriculum from first year itself, which makes sure that we are able to understand a lot of fields and be a good manager.
Okay.
Yeah,
And IPMAT stands for the exam that you have to give in order to get into the IPM program.
yeah, exactly. Basically, I am Indore as well as I am Rohtak, conduct both of them.
Okay, and students have to take this exam after their 12th, like after the boards get over, or like when does it take place?
Yes, so basically there are two options. Either one can go for just after 12th class, and there are also some droppers and partial droppers who attempt the paper after say 1 year or 2 year. Like both of us are partial dropper who attempted the paper 1 year after our exams.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would just request each one of you, and we'll start off with you, Khushi. If you can just give us a brief background and how you started like preparing for this exam, what went through, and same for you, Siddharth. Then.
Yeah, sure. So I got to know about IPM from one of my teacher, जहाँ पे I used to go to coaching in 11th and 12th. And after that, I did some research, went through the curriculum and placements and everything seemed very interesting. And I felt that this is the program that can that is suitable for me, and I did not started preparing for this before my boards. I had started after boards only, but since it was the year 2020, so thanks to the pandemic the exam kept shifting month by month. Like it was supposed to happen in April, then it got postponed to May, June, July, then finally it happened in September 2020.
Oh,
So
okay.
I got a lot of time for preparing. I took a crash course in my first attempt. I took a crash course from IMS, and I completed all the material and everything. But one mistake I did was that I did not uh, I underestimated the verbal ability section, and because of that, I could not clear the cutoff in my first attempt. And after that, of course, I felt bad, but then I took admission in one of the state university colleges, and then I again prepared for it for my second attempt because it was just 6 months away and I wanted to give it another shot. So I prepared for it, and second attempt I made sure that I do not repeat any of the mistakes. And I don't know if it was the drop or anything, but the level of anxiousness and the nervousness जो first attempt में था, second attempt में उसका half भी नहीं था. I don't know why, but maybe experience or anything, but I just did not feel the anxiousness that was there in the first attempt. And then in the second attempt, I cleared the cutoff and everything. And after my indoors interview went okayish. I would not say that it went very well. And hence my all India rank in the open category was 156. So for a general category student, I could not make it. And then IIM Ranchi's interview went really well, and I cracked it. And like I'm the part of the first batch of IPM at IIM Ranchi currently.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, Khushi. Over to you, Siddharth. Like, can you give us a similar like insight on how you prepare?
Yes, my story is also a bit similar to that of Khushi. So I appeared for my board exam in 2020. So while I was in 11th and 12th, although I did opt for science stream and was also going for a JE coaching, but I was not sure as well as not inclined towards engineering and was exploring various career options. So among them, I explored the field of law, management, and even few others. So what I found was IPM was a bit better than most of them, especially as far as my personal interests are concerned. And I also used to watch many case studies on YouTube related to various companies. So I felt that the level of interest that I have for the field of management is way more than any other else. So till the end of my board exam, that is March 2020, I made up my mind that I'm going for IPM Indore and will give my best shot. But the thing is, yeah, as Khushi mentioned, it was the pandemic time, and I also didn't opt for any coaching, just a mock test series. So I would accept the fact that I was not quite disciplined. I did prepare a bit, but it was a bit of bits and pieces, not a complete full focus preparation what is required. So at that time, I had three target colleges. It is IIM Indore, Rohtak, as well as Sahi Sukhdev, that is conducted by DUJET. So IIM Rohtak was conducted on Google Forms, so I don't want to comment what happened. And then there was DUJET, which clashed with IIM Indore. So I had the option of only choosing one, and I went for IIM Indore. So I was waitlisted by some margin, but didn't clear it. So I had no other option, as the number of management institute in college in our country are quite limited, which can be say considered as an option. So I opted for engineering, but while I was doing my engineering, I did started my preparation in the midway and joined a proper coaching called IPM Careers, where I was part of the AIR1 batch, where we were taught by the best faculties who were themselves IIM alum. So I guess I prepared for around 4 to 5 months focus studies, including the PI preparation. So it helped me get a good rank of 143 in IIM Indore and helped me clear IIM Ranchi.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you so much, Siddharth and Khushi. I have a couple of questions before we jump on to the audience question. I'm just super curious because I'm like a layman when it comes to this program. I would love to know more about it. So, both of you being from different fields, how much of a difference does it make? Like, for example, Khushi, when you as a commerce student were preparing for this exam versus Siddharth, you as a science student, like how did you both approach it? According to you, how many months of preparation does this exam take? And also, is coaching necessary according to you? So, Khushi, can you like address this first?
Yeah, so there is this very common misconception among students, and we also had this conception when we were aspirants, that it's easier for science students to crack IPMAT Indore because their math is of JE level, and commerce students के लिए मुश्किल होता है क्योंकि they don't study maths in 11th and 12th. So the thing is that the curriculum that both all of these entrance exam has, majority of the maths that comes in is of 10th level. There are only few chapters that are of 11th and 12th that are higher maths wale level, बहुत कम होते हैं. And as far as this how many months are required, I would say that it's like there is no upfront answer for this. I also know people who prepared for 1 or 2 months and cracked the exam, and I also know people who prepared for 2 years and still couldn't. So there is absolutely no specific months that you have to give. It's just that what is your previous level of preparation, how much hours are you ready to dedicate, and what's your interest. Because my interest was quants, and like I was from the very beginning, I was very comfortable with that particular subject. So I just did sums and I never felt like I was studying. But for verbal ability, I felt like I had to study. So it's like that.
Okay, and what about you, Siddharth?
Yes, so I would agree with what Khushi said. Though there is up to some extent the possibility that a JEE aspirant may have a bit of advantage when it comes to maths, but it is only when it comes to very specific topics of algebra, like say PNC and something like that. But overall, if we talk about the paper, it is more of a general aptitude test, not basically a science aptitude test like a JEE or a NEET. So I do feel that both of the aspirants have got their own advantages and disadvantages. And as far as the PI round is concerned, I guess it is better to be a commerce stream student as one can talk about, say, business related stuff. But what I felt with science students who have only been into competitive exam preparation, they lack the holistic approach which might be required in discussions. Like, say, I was a science student, but the all the discussion that we had in our PI round were related to, say, human resource and morality ethics. So someone who might not have a background may be a bit disadvantaged in that aspect. And yeah, and as far as the verbal ability is concerned, it's more about how much you read and how good is your vocabulary. It has got almost nothing to do with your stream, and it is, I guess, the deciding factor, because most of us are good in mathematics, and especially the JEE aspirants. So it is the verbal ability which is the deciding factor when it comes to whether you are going to get selected or not. Especially if you talk about I'm Indore, we have got a 50% weightage in verbal, and the marks are also based upon relative grading. So basically, the topper is going to score full marks, and you are going to get marks with respect to him. So if the verbal ability score is not good, just as it was the case with me, I was most probably one of the best scorer in sectional. I got 32 out of 40, but just because my VA score was not bad, not good, so I was not able to score, rank required, say in 50s or 60s, which is a must to confirm the selection.
Okay, okay, got it.
Yeah.
I have a query like as a general aspirant. So whenever we prepare for the CAT exam, it is recommended that you take a mock in advance to see how like comfortable you are with the different sections, and that will help you understand how many months of preparation you need. Is that something you would recommend to something who is currently in, let's say, the 12th standard? Because we also know that the boards are coming up. So when exactly as an aspirant they should start dedicated preparation is the question I have. Yeah. Either of you can take it up. Khushi, if you want to take
Okay,
it up first.
okay. So yeah, like giving a mock is a great idea. A lot of students to take this approach, like giving a mock and see where we are right now, and like after giving a mock, when you analyze it, you get to know that what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses. And it's like a very common statement that we make, that we cannot give mock because our portion is not yet completed. So like I feel that portion will never get completed. You just have to sit for the mock, open it and just give it, and just see where you are, and you will gradually improve. Because mock test के scores देखना ही नहीं होता है मॉक टेस्ट में. You just have to see what you did. Scores are nowhere comparable to the actual score that you get in the exam. So yeah, I mean, if a student is in 12th and he has the boards, then the right time to start preparing is like boards के थोड़े time पहले. You can leave preparation for IPMAT. You can focus on boards because boards का percentage is also very important, and they have a very significant weightage in all the colleges. Indore, Ranchi, Rohtak, everyone gives a significant weightage to those boards percentage, 10th as well as 12th. But when you are in 11th, so 11th के साथ साथ you can daily give 1.5 hours to IPMAT, and that's more than enough. So right time for preparation is when you want to start preparing. So that's never late or early, I think.
Okay. Siddharth, anything you would like to add?
Yeah, just adding to one example of what Khushi mentioned, the mock test score has got almost nothing to do with the real IPMAT score, because I appeared for around 20 mocks if you include the year 2020 as well as 2021. So never once I would have cleared verbal ability cutoff in any of them. But I did clear in the actual exam, that too not once but twice. And the next one I scored, say, 20 marks above what the cutoff would be. So if we get discouraged by just looking at the mock test score, which is not which doesn't actually show the real potential that we have, is not always inclined to what the paper is actually going to ask, because there is a certain pattern in IPMAT Indore which is quite different from CAT related exams. So usually what coachings do is that the paper is quite similar to CAT. So what happen is the mock test score is many times quite different from what is expected in IPMAT Indore.
Okay, okay, perfect. So
Yeah.
I don't have any more questions. I would not waste like the audience time and would jump on to the questions. Let me just start reading them and would see who has asked what question. If it's a commerce question, Khushi, you can take it up. If it's a science question, Siddharth, you can take it up. So guys, in case you haven't put in comments, you can start asking the questions. Okay. Someone has asked about whether you gave SAT or IPMAT. Like, is there a difference or is it even related? Like, what is the SAT exam all about?
I
Okay.
came through IPMAT. I gave IPMAT Indore. I did not appear for SAT, but IIM Ranchi also accepts SAT ka score.
Okay,
So that's why they might be asking about it.
okay,
What about you, Siddharth?
Yeah, so to the viewers who are watching for the very first time, we have got basically four exams which are being used for the five IPM programs. IIM Indore uses its own exam, that is IPMAT Indore, and then we have got IPMAT Rohtak for our IIM Rohtak, and then in Ranchi we have got two options. Especially, I'm talking about the last year where we I can either opt for SAT or the other one, that is IIM Indore. So me and I guess most of my batchmate have gone via the IPMAT Indore route. Even a poll was conducted on Telegram. So 70-80% students are dead who gave IM Indore and were missed, usually missed by a small margin, and then they went to the route of Ranchi.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Um, Someone is asking about the material that you should be using. Someone is asking if Arun Sharma books are enough specifically for this exam.
Okay.
Any material that you would want to recommend?
Yeah, so if you have joined any coaching, then you must have definitely got material from that particular coaching. So I would say that coaching material of any one institution would suffice. It's more than enough. The problem today is that there are so many resources available on the internet that we get confused, and because of like abundant, like so many resources are available, we cannot complete even one particular book अच्छे से. So rather than going for so many different materials, pick any one coaching institution का material. Or if you want to go for the books, then currently there is, as far as I know, there's Pearson only who publishes book just for the IPMET curriculum. And like I used Arun Sharma's book for verbal ability, but I did not like solve the. There are three categories: easy, medium, and difficult. So I did not solve the difficult wala part because it's not relevant for IPMAT. So you can try that if you want. And I also completed one book for vocabulary, and it's very helpful. If you haven't yet tried that book, you should definitely. It's Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis. So definitely, everyone recommends that book. So if you haven't heard, then you can try it.
Okay, Siddharth, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, so I would like to share my own experience. So for quantitative ability, I used only Arun Sharma because I found the book way too good to ignore. But the way the book is structured with the theory, the illustration, and the systematic example, which are divided level wise, I think it is a perfect book if one wants to say have the mastery over a particular topic. But at the same time, it is a bit time consuming. So if the time is quite limited, one has to make a trade off or may have to shift to some other source. And as far as the verbal ability is concerned, I actually used 3-4 books, but it was not complete book. I usually used the book in which the particular topic was say most inclined towards IPMAT Indore. So one of them was an NTSC book, and other was the coaching material. And then I even use Arun Sharma and Meenakshi Upadhyay verbal ability book for particular topics, especially for the question which are asked in IIM Indore. So it was very specific and focused studies.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people are asking how to manage preparation of this exam alongside anything and everything that might be. Someone might be pursuing a graduation degree, like Khushi, you enrolled in a particular course. Someone might be preparing for JEE. Someone might only be preparing for the board exams. So, how to manage that? Yeah. Khushi, you can start off with it.
Yeah, I think Siddharth should take it because he was a JEE aspirant as well.
Yes.
I just prepared for IPMET, And like as far as the other course is concerned, like I was enrolled in a BCom course in my state university, so I honestly did not have to like dedicate any time to that particular course. I used to dedicate more hours to IPMET than my college, and it's manageable. If you are in a university, if you're doing any undergraduate course, then IPMET is manageable along with that. But like JE and everything, like I think Siddharth would be helpful for that.
Yes, so I was actually enrolled in an integrated program where they also used to teach JE related subject, especially the PCM part. So I would say it is a bit hectic, but as I only focus on mathematics and especially in the topics which are part of both IPMAT Indore as well as JE. So especially as we talk about algebra part, say quadratic equation and PNC probability. So these topics help me in both the exams. So it was, I would say, I would a bit lucky and focused. And yeah, if we do a systematic study even while studying in college, again it is quite manageable. But if the college is, as we were lucky that the college was online, so we were able to manage it better. But if it is offline, it might be a bit difficult. So one might better opt for self study rather than going for a full coaching, as the requirement of going for offline coaching is a little too much, especially talking about physical travel and all.
Okay, you guys believe that self prep would be sufficient for this?
Me, yeah. So I would say I did opt for coaching and it did help me, especially when it comes to discipline part. Because usually in self preparation, discipline is something we lack. And if there is right guidance, especially when it comes to PI part, in which we are not having any experience up to class 12th level, the only thing we have given is few school vivas, which has got almost nothing to do with the person interview part in IIM Indore. So I guess going for a coaching, especially in the mock interview, is can be the deciding factor because the exam is highly competitive in nature. Say the I guess 400 students are shortlisted in IIM Indore, and only up to 80 waitlist movement is there. So it's 1:5 ratio. So the interview can be the deciding factor. So getting doing few mock interviews and getting few insights from experienced faculty can be a game changer.
Yeah, also like doing self study, whether you should go for self study, whether you should enroll in a coaching, if you are confused about that, then just ask yourself this question that अगर मैं coaching में enroll कर रहा हूँ या कर रही हूँ तो मुझे वहाँ से क्या 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 मिलेगा, like you will get study material, you will get guidance, you will get the relevant guidance and mentorship that you want, and the mock tests that you are willing to give, and some information about exam that you want uh, that you should be knowing as an aspirant. So अगर आपको ऐसा लगता है कि ये सारी information you can compile on your own, like resources are available everywhere, like for every, like, I don't know if I should say this, for every coaching institutions resources are also available on internet, and there are a lot of free mock tests, and if you want you can just enroll in few mock test series, like I also enrolled and purchased just the mock test series. And if you are connected with few of your seniors who have cracked the exam, or few of the teachers who can give you guidance and mentorship, and you have the dedication to like give 1 or 2 hours daily to this exam, then coaching is not compulsory.
Okay, okay. There is another popular question, and I also was surprised to know this. So, if you could address it, that if let's say it's a 5 year integrated program, right? If someone pursues the undergraduate degree, and also like touch upon what the undergraduate degree is all about, like what is the curriculum basically, and if someone pursues it for let's say 3 years, and he or she feels like now I want to get into some other IIM. First of all, is it possible, and how much do you think people actually do that, like your seniors that you might have heard of?
Mhm. Yeah, so first coming to the curriculum part, so different colleges have different undergrad degree. Like I am Indore gives BA degree in undergraduation. I am Ranchi and Rohtak gives BBA degree. I think the same is for both Gaya and Jammu as well. And coming to the curriculum part, I think this is the one thing that I love the most about IPM program. The curriculum is so diverse and so amazing. Like by morning you will be studying psychology, communication skills, and the end of the day you are studying physics and biology. So it's very interesting. In every 3 to 4 months, whenever the term changes, the new subjects, new professors, new books. So you will never get bored of this program. So if you are someone who is not sure about your niche or domain and are kind of a generalist, then this is something that you can definitely go for. And coming to the switching part, like after 3 years you can definitely switch the college for masters if you want, and you will get the bachelor's degree from whatever institution you have completed, and you can pursue your MBA in other institution by giving CAT or any other MBA entrance exam. And yeah, it's possible. There is an option of leaving in between.
Okay, Siddharth, anything you would like to add?
Yeah, I think Khushi some included all the important points. Yeah.
Okay, okay. There's a very popular question on how to prepare for verbal ability. I think it's not only in like J aspirants or science people. I think it's also commerce students' problem. So if you can individually take this up and tell how you prepare for verbal ability.
Yeah. So okay, so I would so was one more important thing was most important thing I would like to add is that right the verbal ability section is quite difficult no matter how good a background you have because I've seen really good students struggling in verbal ability. So it requires a fair bit of practice and especially if one is not having a reading habit, it might require a bit of work. But if one is able to do very specific and strategic studies in the last period of study, it can be the game changer because I remember in IIM Indore, I solved the past year papers say 5 to 6 times. So there is a certain bit of questions which are repeated every year that were repeated in say 3 years in a row, 19, 20, and 21. So if one is able to exactly prepare according to it, like I would like to give the example of few questions which are related to vocabulary, where words which has used to have similar spellings or similar used to sound similar were asked say for around 4 to 5 marks in almost every year. So if one is able to prepare for them by very specific study material, it can give a boost of say 10 to 15 marks, which can be the game changer in such exams.
Okay. Anything you would like to add, Khushi?
Yeah, so like I said, verbal ability was always a problematic section for me. I couldn't like I just never scored well in that particular section. My quants score used to be way above the cutoff, and verbal ability score was did not even meet the cutoff in mock test. So I used to give sectional mock test just for verbal ability. And if you feel that any particular section is weak, you can give sectional mock test. And if you want to know how you should prepare for verbal ability, just go through all the topics and like few skills like comprehending and fast reading and vocabulary. These are the things that will not help you in just this exam, but will help you like even after the exam, in the interview, but when you get into college. So like make an habit of reading, not just for the exam, but you will start liking it initially. Just read and make sure that your familiarity with the language increases. You can also watch movies and series in English language and note down the important words, idioms, phrases that you hear, and see what's their meaning. Try to incorporate that in your daily language. So like this is something that you learn eventually. Like you cannot improve vocabulary in a day or two. So it's a gradual process. So start today only if you haven't yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just adding one point to what Khushi mentioned, I did the analysis of past 2 3 years paper, and around 50% questions were completely based upon vocab or idioms or phrases. So if one is able to master them, it can be the deciding factor. As usually these questions are the one that consume the least amount of time and can and they are the one usually which students find it difficult to solve. So if one is good in that particular area, it can give a big jump and especially can help one to save a good amount of time in the exam.
Okay. Khushi,
Yeah.
there's a specific question for you. Some of the students are asking how many mocks you took because Siddharth, I think, mentioned that he took 20 mocks. How many mocks did you take?
So I gave in total full length mock test, 25 mock tests for all the sections. And since verbal ability was something that I had to put extra efforts on, like around 10 mock tests just for verbal ability wala section.
Okay, and which test series did you guys prefer?
I purchased ACE IPM test series. They were really good. relevant to the exam. The interface of the mock test was also exactly the same, and I appeared for like few free test series that are there because I was just testing which can be better. So for all the coaching institution, there will always be few free test series, so you can appear for them as well.
Yeah.
And Siddharth, which one did you take?
So if we include both the years, I actually took mock tests of three coaching: Career Launcher, IPM Careers, as well as percentile classes. So both of them had their own merits and demerits. So, but I did get a fair bit of idea about how the paper is and how to adopt in different. How if the say the paper is targeted more towards quant, so how to adopt accordingly, and if the paper is requiring a good amount, a good pace, so how to adopt in that situation. So it made sure that I was familiar with almost all type of patterns.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm, there is a question, if you guys can take it up, that how did your lives change after entering the IPM program? एक बता दो बच्चों को कि बोर्ड्स ज़्यादा डिफिकल्ट थे या आईपीएम की पढ़ाई ज़्यादा डिफिकल्ट है.
Khushi, you may go first.
Siddharth doesn't want to answer this question.
Okay. Yeah.
So, boards are the difficult है IP मैट. I would not say that anyone. दोनों का अपना अपना इम्पोर्टेंस है. बोर्ड्स तो लाइफ टाइम में सब लाइक हमेशा रहता है. IP मैट is just a one time exam. Also, how did our lives changed after getting into IPM? I haven't thought about it, but like I will say that there is we always like think that once you get into it, everything will be sorted and hunky dory. So I want to make this clear that ऐसा नहीं होता है. Like when you get in, even when you get into any premier institution, there is hustle and you have to like fight there as well. For there is competition everywhere. So like getting a tag or like getting into a good college can give you a lot of opportunity. It opens a lot of doors for you, but you have to enter that door. So you cannot just sit back and relax and let the college do everything. But yeah, I have definitely experienced a lot of things after I got into the college, especially the batchmates, like the diversity, not just in culture, but the skill set and the people that you meet here is one of the most important benefit that you get from such programs.
Okay, Siddharth, anything you would like to comment here?
Yeah, so I would say it was for me it was a better jump as I was in a tier three engineering college, and I was also not aligned towards the field. And then IPM is almost perfect in all the aspects other than the fees part. So the peer group is almost perfect as far as our institute is concerned. We have got people from all the streams, science, commerce, and arts from various part of the country. So when we have class discussion, the level of learning that we have is something which was never possible in an engineering institute where we are dominated from a particular type of people. And then we have also got the IM brand, which has got its own benefit when it comes to say if we want to interact with a new person for any business opportunity or want to apply for an internship, the IM tag is really useful. And the third thing I would say, yeah, is the curriculum is also quite balanced, where we have got subjects from almost all the domains of science. Especially in the first year, we have got subjects from all the three streams, that is arts, commerce, and science, and even few other course like arts appreciation, where we are taught music, painting, and stuff like that. So I would say the course designed quite well, and if one is ready to put the required effort, and especially if the classes are conducted offline, it would be really great.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. You mentioned about the fee. I am very curious to know how much is the fee of a 5 year integrated program at any of the IIMs? And by your smiles, I'm guessing it must be like at par with what other IIMs quote for an MBA degree. Like, how much is it exactly?
Yeah, so it starts from around 30, I guess in I'm Indore, and it's between 30 to 36 lakh. It varies a bit, and include the mess fees and other charges and the MBA fees. So it's yeah, it's around 30 to 35 lakhs, which is a fair bit of deal. But the thing is, the management education is expensive in almost all the part of the country. If we neglect say few government colleges like say DU and FMS, it's almost the same story around the world. So I would say if one is inclined and is ready to put the right effort, it is up to some extent worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, and also like the education loan that you can avail in such institution, you can easily get loans without paying any collateral.
Okay.
So there is obviously other factors as well, like you know, after you graduate from the college, what's your family's financial dependency on you and who's there to back you up and everything. But loan you can get easily, so you don't have to worry about that.
Okay. And
Yeah, just
there's,
one
yeah.
point I would like to add is that especially if one is not sure whether one wants to go to management, so one has to think, has to do a fair bit of thinking before applying, because if you were not for the program, I know few people who were not inclined towards the field and made a fair bit of investment, which led to a wrong career path altogether. So I guess if one is investing a lot of time and money, so one should make sure that whether the field is fit for him or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think for the paucity of time, we're going to take just one last question, which someone might have. That if, let's say, someone starts right now and is preparing for this year's exam, is there sufficient time? Can someone crack it?
Okay. May I go?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I first of all I would say it depends how where you stand today. So the best thing one can do is to appear for past year paper in the required time and find out how much you are scoring and how say far or close you are towards the cutoff. And just clearing the cutoff also doesn't mean that you are going to ace the exam, because 400 people cut, as I mentioned, clear the cutoff and only 55 seats are there in IIM Indore. And almost similar situation lies in other IIMs as well. So one has to have a fair bit of margin above that, so a good level of preparation is required. But in the end we don't choose exactly what we are scoring. We can but the only thing we can do is to work hard and improve our score. And even if one don't make it the first time, one might make in the second attempt, or maybe say 3 years later in the cat, the preparation is going to be only useful, won't be get wasted. So, and especially the thing is it's an aptitude test, so the question that are asked are going to be helpful even in say job preparation, even is one going for a technical field. And and the subject syllabus is also quite interesting as far as I have seen, so one would definitely enjoy the time that is one is devoting in the preparation.
Anything you'd like to add, Khushi?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much the same. If you're starting right now, more than the time, what matters is your attitude and how much time you are effectively willing to dedicate.
Yeah.
And it's like February, almost February has all, let's not count February. And if you start from March, then like you can make a proper plan. And there are crash courses that you can take if you can't just self study. So it is possible. I won't say that it's not possible. So we can give it a shot, definitely.
Okay, so guys, I'm again going to thank both of you. But before you guys like leave this video, I'm just gonna say that this is just the first episode. There are going to be multiple episodes wherein we are going to bring different people from different IPMs. In fact, we are also trying to bring someone who's a graduate of the program, so that you can get a better idea. People who have probably left IIMs that they got into with the IPM program and are now pursuing, let's say, CAT preparation and getting into other IIMs, all sorts of profiles, so that you can make better decisions. So in case you have any questions that we may not have covered today, put them in the comments. We'll either take them up in the next episode, or we are going to answer them in the comments itself after this video is end streaming. So with that, we are ending this episode. Thank you so much again, Khushi and Siddharth. I can't thank you guys enough for coming on board, and would just like to say that you have just started something very fruitful. I just hope this message reaches to as many people as possible who are in their 11th 12th, so that they can make better decisions going forward. Anything you guys would like to say?
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
say thank you
it
very much
was
for the, yeah, Khushi.
okay. Yeah, so it was the first live webinar that I've attended. I was very excited, and your channel is something that like almost all of IPM CAT aspirants they follow. They know
Thank you so
about it.
much. Thank you.
So like it was nice interacting with you, had fun.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I would like to add that I used to attend so many of such webinars, but as a viewer, now to be on the other side of it is a different experience altogether. And as far as Shweta Didi is concerned, I have been following her from a very long time. Especially used to read her articles on Quora, which were really helpful, to the point and up to the mark. And the best thing was they were really honest. Because usually we see exaggerated answers which have got almost nothing to do with the reality. But what I found in the answers, that they actually showed the reality and was focused what the aspirants actually need to do. And I really enjoyed studying from non-engineers, and would like to thank her. And it was
Thank you
just
so
a,
much, guys.
yeah,
That's really
it
sweet
was
of
just
both
a
of you,
feedback.
and wish you the very best. And thank you so much for taking out time. I know IPM is a rigorous program, like you guys mentioned. So thank you so much, and thank you to all the viewers as well.
Yeah, thank you. All the best. And let's drop your queries in the comments and we'll address them after the webinar.